Welcome back, everybody. It's Blastsportz. As you know, I'm your host, Jay, also known as Coach Jay. And damn it, I bring the best talent to my platform. And today I have a phenomenal quarterback on my platform today. Sir, please introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Toviel Jung. I'm currently the quarterback for the Fort Worth Braves.
So let's rock and roll. Let's start this process. How did you
Yes,
start
sir.
playing football?
So it all started when I was like, I think 6 years old. I was actually baseball first. And as you know, I'm Korean. So like
Okay.
my dad, like we wanted to do sports. So we're like looking around what sports to do. And then like, I think when I was 3 years old, I picked up a baseball bat and I started hitting baseballs.
Hmm.
But so I went into baseball and I was a first baseman, but I had a pretty good arm. So during one of my baseball games, I think one of the football coaches that had his son also playing baseball was like, "Man, you should have your son try quarterback or football." And at that point, I've never seen like touch the football or anything like that. So my dad was like, "Yeah, why not?" So we actually joined their team, and I joined as their quarterback. And just from then on, I fell in love with the game from
So you,
there.
you never played no other position but quarterback.
Yep, starting when I was young to right now, I've only played quarterback.
That's a very important position, the most important position on the
Oh
field.
yeah, for sure.
And
Hmm.
you get all the blame, you get all the glory. So
Yes, sir.
there's nothing in between. It's either all your
Exactly.
fault or or you're the Superman. So it's like,
Mhm.
so then you start playing little Pop Warner and
Yeah,
that
youth league. Yep.
you flakes, you go to high school.
Hmm.
You do not look like the prototypical quarterback. No disrespect, and I'm not trying to be mean.
No, yeah, 100%. Exactly. I know what you exactly. Yep.
You are there's nothing about you that when they first look at you that says he's a quarterback.
Yeah. I'm not
Until
gonna
you start
lie.
throwing the ball.
Yeah, a lot of people they look at me as like, "Oh, what do you play?" I was like, "Oh, what sport do you play?" I'm like, "Oh, I play football." They're like, "Oh, you what do you play? Linebacker? What are you like?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm a quarterback." And they just completely stop. They freeze like, "Oh, because quarterback is so important." Yeah, but
You know,
and then
because
when they
or either
yeah,
blonde hair, blue eyes, or something like like the stereotypes. Not saying
yeah,
that,
yeah.
but
No, yeah, I understand.
you go to high school.
Hmm.
You play at Unity Red High School.
Hmm.
What is the ranking of that high school in Virginia?
So at that time when I came in at ninth grade, I think they were pretty low on the rankings. I don't think they've been in the playoffs since like 10 years or 5 to 10 years since then. So I came in as a freshman and I went to Unity Reed High School. And the thing was, is so that's when they got their new coach. And that
Hmm.
coach was actually part of my youth organization coach. So I had some connections there as well.
Okay.
So my ninth grade year, and you need to read high school. It was a 6A school as well, so it's like pretty big up there. But we weren't usually the best school. But my ninth grade year came in, and I automatically was like the second string quarterback for varsity. And
Wow.
yeah, senior was the first string, but I played JV and varsity both. So on Mondays I suit up, play JV. Fridays I suit up, and I just like kind of see like how varsity works. And then I would say about midway, halfway through the season, um, the first string quarterback got hurt on varsity. So I was like, oh man, I guess it was like my time was up. And I think that game, I mean, it was a learning process. I was a freshman, but I threw 3 touchdowns that first game I played. I did throw like some picks as well. We lost the game, but ultimately, like, I think that's what kind of like sealed, like, oh wow, this kid can actually play quarterback, especially as a freshman. So then
Yeah.
on, yeah, that's when I like, they kind of moved that quarterback to receiver during the game. So then we kind of split. So I played quarterback then as a freshman for varsity and JV.
Now here's the $1 million question. First couple of games, you started quarterback for JV. Not to knock JV,
Mhm.
but they're not as
Yeah,
fine tuned as the varsities.
yeah, for sure.
But you're on the bench for the varsity until you get your
Hmm.
playing time. How
Hmm.
much of a benefit was that for you?
So yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Like for JV, our JV team was pretty good. So we
Okay.
would like kind of roll teams in JV. So honestly, it kind of felt like the flow of the game, like with at least with the players that I played with, because some of them actually played varsity with me as well, because our team was very young at that time. So we kind of used JV as a practice here and there
Mm.
for sometimes for the varsity. So when I came in at varsity, I felt like it was like it wasn't there was no like oh I no chemistry here, no chemistry there. It was like boom, like oh I know how he runs the routes, I know the timing, I know what to do, kind of thing. So
So that was a big benefit to have
it
some of your
was
JV come up with you.
exactly yeah. That's how it worked.
You start as a not start, but you start getting playing time as a freshman quarterback. Eventually, you
Yes.
become the starter.
Hmm.
How much does that boost your ego?
Oh man, it was crazy because like first it was like I just want to say like faith was like number one importance to me. So like in high school as well, like they all call me like Father Toviel because I would like just preach the gospel to everybody. But yeah, that was so like giving like Jesus all the things was like my number one priority in that and all that. And then, but other than that, just it was pretty crazy because like me being a freshman, like all my friends were like dang, like, oh, awesome job and stuff. So I was like, wow, like, but my kind of like thinking into like all of this was more like this is always just the beginning, right? Like no matter how good things come, like there's always more to like put effort in and more to give in that type of way.
No, that's
So yeah,
awesome. God definitely sprinkled his magic on you.
for sure.
And that's awesome. Sophomore
Hmm.
year comes.
Yeah, sophomore year comes. So sophomore year, this was what I call like my breakout season.
Okay.
Sophomore year comes, yep. Um, I started varsity my whole year.
Mm-hmm.
There was times where we had like a running quarterback because at sophomore year I wasn't really a runner. My freshman, junior, or sophomore year I wasn't a runner. I was more of a passer guy.
Okay.
But that whole season I threw basically 2,000 yards, 17 touchdowns, and I think I led the team to the first time in the playoffs. Maybe they playoffs first time in like 5 years, 5 to 10 years. And we did lose in the first round, but that was my sophomore season. So my sophomore season, that's when like bunch of interest started just rolling in for me.
You
It was
you carry the team into the playoffs. They have not sniffed the playoffs in 5 years, and you got
mhm,
them in. You lose, it
yep.
doesn't matter. You're still young. There's high
Hmm.
promise for you because you're coming back your junior year and your senior year.
Yes.
I know that loss stung.
Hmm.
Come back junior year. What is the process like?
So come back junior year, and it was more of the same thing because to be honest, our defense and our whole team, we were so athletically gifted. Because I don't know if you know Tyler Williams from the Lions,
Yes.
defensive tackle. He was our offensive guard and defense like
Oh wow.
end during that time. We had Sean Murphy, also like I think he's South Carolina right now, linebacker for defense, and a bunch of other D2, D1 talent on that team. So we were like
Makes sense.
rolling. Yeah, but come junior season, uh there was another transfer quarterback, but he was more of a runner type. So he would run a lot and I would do more of the passing. And we kind of because the way the coach ran the offense was he wanted to make it where it was like we would put the running quarterback in
Hmm.
and then put me in for like passing situations and stuff like that. But that's basically my junior season. But halfway through the season, what happened was I got a high ankle sprain off of one of the games. So halfway through the season, yeah, my season was done basically. I came back for the playoffs, like first game, but I wasn't. I was like 90%. I mean, I still tried my best, but that's what basically happened my junior season. I still had an okay season. In like 4 or 5 games, I threw 900 yards, and I don't remember the amount of touchdowns, but I threw like 900 yards and like 6 to 7 touchdowns maybe. But yeah, or I think it was 9 touchdowns. But that was my halfway through the junior season, but it was cut short due to my injury.
You get an injury and you try to bounce back for the playoffs.
Yeah.
How hard was it? I know that you're cheering your team on, and I'm
Hmm.
not saying that you're not cheering the quarterback on, but how hard was it not to play and be contributing the way you know you could and help the team go to the next level?
Mm. Yeah, for sure. It was low key. one of like the most difficult times. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know how much more difficult it would become, but at that time in high school, it was one of my most difficult times. Just being I can't help the team like in the way that they can need me because like obviously there's the situations where like having a passing quarterback is better because like sometimes it would stack the box a lot. I mean, I'm not like saying like the other quarterback he couldn't throw, like he had a good arm and stuff, but I was more, like systematically in that type of environment where I would be the better passer in that situation. But yeah, it was pretty hard during those times, and I remember just like being on the sidelines and like going to practices and just watching, and like I was like on my crutches, and I was like, I can't believe this happened. Like, oh man. But I was just thinking in my head, it's all God's plan. It's all God's plan.
Yeah, this is all God's plan, but and let you see
Mhm.
the game from the outside, so you don't. And I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback, but you would
Yeah.
learn pretty much from his mistakes,
Hmm. Yeah.
make you a better player in the long run.
Hmm. Yep.
Senior year, this is the big year.
Yeah. Senior year, big year, because my junior season got cut, right? So I was like, senior year, this is where like the offer's gonna come in. This is where everything's gonna happen. And I had a lot of interest from like schools. So like for example, like Liberty, they were talking to me. I had like some of the JMU coaches were talking to me, and then a bunch of the Ivy Leagues. I went to a bunch of camps during that season, like junior season. Princeton, Yale, like Harvard, Columbia, all those coaches. Like I was just talking to them, like being like, close proximity with them. So senior year comes. I actually transferred to another school in
Okay.
Chantilly, and it's Westfield High School. They were the three times back-to-back state champions during that time. So I transferred to Westfield, and I'm so ready for the season. And then that's when COVID hit, and it just messed up everything. Meaning, like I didn't have a season in the fall, and a bunch of the interest I got from coaches, just like that, they all ghosted me because the roster spot was full, and then like Virginia was one of the 7 states that didn't play in the fall. So like Texas and all of them, they already had their film, they had everything, they had all their guys already lined up, and like just like my name from the board just kept going down, down, down because I wasn't able to play because of COVID. I had 7-on-7 tape, but like coaches don't want to see 7-on-7; they want to see 11-on-11
Yeah.
tackles. So
I mean, but
so that's
some
what.
film is better than no film.
Yeah, some film is better than no film, but compared like it wasn't anything like crazy to where like an 11-on-11 film would be. So that's what basically happened my COVID or my senior season because COVID hit, and basically most of my opportunities were lost. But come spring, I mean, for the amount of time I had to even prepare because of COVID, I think it was like I literally like came onto the team. I had 1 to 2 months to learn the whole playbook, to learn everything,
Yeah.
and then like literally have chemistry with all these guys that I've never seen before. To be honest, I didn't even go inside the school. That's how I like I went to the gym twice inside because like I've never like you weren't allowed to in COVID.
Yeah, you weren't allowed to at all.
Yeah, you weren't allowed to do anything. So with that like in mind, being like a new quarterback there, we did finish the season 4-3. I mean, it wasn't like the best, but I feel like if we were able to like really like develop, I think we would have been a very solid team. But unfortunately, none of that really happened. But my senior season it wasn't bad. I had a lot of good highlights, good film, but I think it was just too late for a lot of coaches in that
And
perspective.
and, and also what hurt you was a lot of players were coming back.
Yeah.
So they will remove it because I've heard this from multiple players. And I've
Hmm.
actually interviewed some of the players that are playing in your league.
Yeah.
And Zach, running back for the Syndicats, he told me, he said, Jay, during COVID, I couldn't do anything. Offers are coming off the table. There's nothing I can do.
Hmm.
I'm stuck. I'm stuck in a
Hmm.
limbo. And I can't even just
Yeah.
gotta take what I can get. You could,
Hmm.
how hard was it for you knowing you didn't get the offer you deserve and COVID threw a wrench in your plan? And they taking scholarships away because guys are coming back. How hard was it for you to stay focused?
Oh, yeah, it was a difficult time. Like I said, like I thought junior season was bad. Senior season was that much worse, right? But during those times, that's like when I really like just went on my knees and started praying. I was like, Lord, is this what you like want for me in my life? Like, because like I guess like moving on, if we talk about in college, like there's kind of like that identity crisis, like, oh, what am I gonna do? Because of
Yeah,
so many things that happened. But during that time, like COVID, I was like why now? Out of all the years that, COVID could have came, why does it gotta be at the most significant time of like my football careers in that way? So like just seeing like a bunch of coaches to start like, yeah, it was discouraging at that, but at that point, like all I had to do was trust God. Like, okay, like we'll see where this leads.
gotcha, gotcha. You go to
Mhm.
college. What offer did you eventually get?
So yeah, I had a lot of actually like D3 and D2 offers. Or not that much D2 offers. I had some D3, but I had one D2 offer from West Virginia Wesleyan, in West Virginia. Yeah, but the quarterback coach that offered me, he actually left before I came on the team. But they still had my offer, but I decided, like maybe not. And I'm not gonna lie, because like knowing that like so many D1 like coaches were like interested at least in me, I was like thinking like, oh man, it's like D1 or nothing for me. Which if anybody is watching this that are saying like, oh, like a D1 or nothing, please go D2, D3. If I were to rewind my time, I would definitely play in college for sure. But yeah, so I actually went to like a local college university, George Mason University
Mhm.
in Fairfax, and they had a club football program. So that's where I played club football. So try to get more film for the
Gotcha.
upcoming, like just try to get to a Division 1 program. But more unfortunate circumstances, what happened was, so basically the coaches that were at George Mason at that time, they came from Hayfield. And then like so they kind of brought their guys over, but they recruited me to play quarterback starting. But their Division 1 quarterback from JMU decided to come to Mason for more film. And
Mm,
I was like already in a losing battle because
gotcha.
like he
Yeah,
knows the system and he knows everything. So I was like, okay, whatever. Like that's what I kind of got like quote unquote done wrong. But in that perspective too, it's like I could have worked harder to try, like proving my case. But I think at that time, like it was already a done deal. Like, this guy's like we brought him from JMU. He knows the system, he knows everything. So what they did, they put me at like tight end and they put me at like running back and stuff to at least utilize like my talent.
yeah.
But in doing so, I mean, I did catch a good ball. I caught one. I juked out two defenders, but I got hip drop tackled, and I broke my ankle.
Oh,
Yeah, halfway. I think it was like the third, fourth game. So that's what happened. And then I had surgery, and then that literally it cut my freshman season out.
and you kind of somewhat gave up on football.
Yeah. So basically, what happened was like during that time. I mean, obviously, I still wanted to like play football. So I was thinking like, oh man, like the only coach or kind of like only like school I wanted to go to was Liberty because my parents went to Liberty and my sister went to Liberty at that time. And I was like, I feel like calling towards Liberty. So I was like, maybe I go to Liberty and I can walk on there as a walk on and then work my way to scholarship, work my way to the roster, whatnot. And I already knew the coaches there too. Like I've been to the camps, I've talked to them. So I was like, I don't think it would be as hard as if I go to somewhere other school to try to walk on. So then that's when I did transfer to Liberty. And then when I transferred to Liberty and I tried out. 2 weeks later after the tryout, they all went to Auburn. So it's like, I was like, oh wow, like it's just stuck. So at that point, I think that's when I was thinking like, maybe God's plan isn't really football for me. But like in the back of my mind, I'm like saying, like, I still love football, so I'm still gonna try as much, but it's not gonna be the priority. I'll just focus on school and whatnot. So I think for 2 to 3. So after that, that was my sophomore season. So my junior and my senior, I just focused on school. I mean, I did go to the tryouts, but I had no connections and like they said I was good, but they just had no roster spots available because the Coastal Carolina, they were from Coastal Carolina. They brought all their Coastal Carolina players
Yeah,
into Liberty, and then like with the new like NCAA rules and limits and rosters and transfer portal stuff, like it's so hard to like, especially a quarterback, to go on a
yeah.
team like right now. So like
I can imagine.
yeah, so like at that point, I was like, man, like no opportunities are coming my way, nothing is coming. So I was like, maybe very very stereotypical, but I was like, I got hurt a lot, so maybe I'll become a doctor.
Yeah,
He's becoming a doctor. So I was like, oh, yeah, dude. Stereotypical that way, but yeah. So I tried going that route, but I think what I realized too was like, if, for example, I don't know if you know, but like in the Bible, like there's a parable about like bearing talents and stuff. I think
Mhm.
what I did during that time was I buried my talent. Like God gave me a talent for football, but I just took it away because of circumstances that happened. And at that time, I was like, yeah, like I didn't want to do anything with it and stuff. But yeah,
Things happen for a reason. God doesn't make
mhm,
mistakes.
yeah,
So you were thrown a wrench in your plans, but they threw you lemons, God threw you lemons, and eventually you made lemonade.
mhm,
You decided to do a social media page about football.
yes.
Talk to me about that.
So so it's actually kind of crazy because that year, I think 2025 in January, it was what you call like it was my last or quote unquote last chance to try out for Liberty
Hmm.
because I was super senior and like my eligibility's done like 5 years like so it's like if I can try to make it on the team I can. But during that time my grandpa actually passed away in
Sorry.
Korea. So it was either go to my grandpa's funeral or try out for Liberty. And at that time I was so stuck. I was like, man, like I don't know what God wants me to do. But in that point, I thought to myself, I was like, I think the Lord wants me to give up football to Him because it was kind of like an idol in my life.
Hmm.
So I gave it up to Him in January and said, I'm kind of done. Like I'm just gonna focus on what I gotta focus on. And that was in 2025, which is crazy. And then down the road, like because I was done with football, I was like, might as well just like create a fun page just to just throw around. I literally created it not to like quote unquote like pop off or anything. It was just like a
Yeah.
fun thing. And then like during one of like a trip, like one person says like, "Oh, you should try like a challenge." I was like, "Oh, I might as well. I know it'd be kind of fun." And it started like ever since from that like moment, it started trickling up and up and up and up. And then kind of what I realized then is like the more followers I got, the more people saying like, "Oh wow, you have a nice arm," or like, "Where are you playing? Or why aren't you playing in college and stuff like that?" Kind of like brought me back to this. Is like I think God had to take it away from me to show me that like like I'm first in your life. And then when I started realizing that, that's when he started blessing me more in ways that I couldn't even imagine.
Yeah. You rode the wave. You didn't, clearly it's human nature. You go through
Mhm.
frustrations. "Ah, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna make it." But you say, you know what? I'm gonna give it up to the Lord, and what's gonna happen is gonna happen. And next, the fruit of the labor started coming in.
Yes, for sure. Yep.
So you get this tryout.
Hmm.
What was it like when you got the email?
So basically, come like so more social media page comes up, and I'm like, oh man, I really want to play. So then I started series. I was like, all right, road to overseas, road to because I really wanted to play in Japan as well because I saw a lot of
And
like the X
XFL,
League
right?
stuff. Yeah, the X League in the Japan.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I wanted to play there because I was like, wow, like that would be an awesome experience and stuff. And then like, but one of my teammates DM'd me. He was like, yo, you should try out for this like team. Like you're not you should search up this league. It's called the like Continental Football League. I was like, what is that? So I did research and I was like, oh, okay, like in my it was like I just put it in the back of my mind. But like the more I saw like people signing from like other teams, and the more I saw, I was like, oh, maybe I can like just try. So it's kind of funny because I actually reached out to like head coach slash from Cincinnati Dukes,
Yeah.
and then he was like, oh, come for a tryout. Like we'll love to have you for a tryout. So I was like, okay, I was like actually ready to go to Ohio and stuff, but I think at that moment, like some other like offers from other overseas were coming in. So I was like, oh, maybe I just go other overseas because like I had like a couple Brazil coaches were calling me and stuff. And like there's some coaches in Australia. They're like, oh, maybe. So I was just like discovering so many options. So I was like, maybe I just don't go try out. And then like going on long when Fort Worth, the Braves, they
Mhm.
announced, I was like, oh man, like it's always been my dream to like live in Dallas or like
Okay.
to be in Dallas at least. So I was like, oh, like none of these like offers are like coming through. So I was like, maybe I'll just DM, you know, Coach Dub. So I was like, I emailed or not emailed, I DM'd. I was like, hey, like I'm wondering if like there's opportunities for me, whatnot, like what can I do and stuff. And he was like, oh wow, like, and so we started talking. And then what eventually happened was he said like, okay, let's get you on board and like onto the team. And I was like shocked because basically what happened was like I couldn't really come to a tryout
Hmm.
because it was like so much. So what he did for me, like shout out Coach Dub, what he did for me was saying like, like we seen your page, we seen your stuff, and we really believe that you could spin it. So, like kind of like he just gave me the training camp invite was like, let's roll, let's work. And I
Right.
really think I was like, yeah. So I really appreciate Coach Dub for that. Believing in me, like giving me at least the opportunity to show what I'm worth. So
When you when you get the message from the coach, let's rock and roll. How does that
mhm.
feel?
Oh man, it was like wow. Like I can't believe like all the things that like all the like 6 years of just like down in the dumps, like finally something came finally like out of it. It was like praise Jesus, praise the Lord, like for real. Because like none of this would have
Right.
been, yeah, it was a crazy, crazy experience at that moment.
How did your father react?
Oh man. My family, my mom, like my grandma, dad, mom, sister, wow, they were all so happy for me.
That's
But
awesome.
yeah, we do have like an Asian mindset though, because it's like jobs never finished. You
Yeah.
know, like once you get one thing, like don't be too comfortable in it because it can always go away. So it's just like, okay, now it's the next step type of thing. So
Now, I want to kind of talk to you about your play for the next couple of
mhm.
minutes.
Yeah,
Deep ball is accurate. No disrespect. Your deep ball is
yeah,
amazing. I'm not impressed with people that could throw the deep ball because
mhm.
if you're going to play quarterback, clearly you could throw the ball far.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
What impressed me is that you're not afraid to throw the ball in the middle of the field.
Hmm.
You're tight end. And that's one of the harder routes because that's where the flow of
Oh
traffic
yeah.
is going through.
Hmm.
How did you build that comfort to start doing that?
It's kind of funny because I'm not gonna lie, I remember I clearly remember my senior year of high school. I was talking to my coach, right, and he was drawing up the plays like, all right, we're running double slants, but like this is your read. Basic what your read is like, are the slot receiver slant or the tight end slant in the slot. Like he's just a decoy. All right, we're trying to bring the linebacker out so you can throw that outside slant in. And it's like it's a really dangerous throw in the middle. So I don't want to see you ever kind of making that throw. But first game comes along, and I look, and that outside linebacker was not moving. And I was like, oh shoot. So I turned to the tight. My tight end's like 6'4". He's big. I was like, I think he could take a hit. So I ripped it down the middle. He kind of ran a little deep in that too. I ripped it down the middle, and then I think from then on I was like, oh man, I can get more confidence in throwing down the middle, and then
Yeah,
that too.
because you even like I saw you throw a pass on the website on your YouTube page,
Hmm.
and it was a 5 or 10 and out towards the out of bounds, but you placed the ball where only the receiver can get it,
Hmm.
and you threw it from the pocket, which was
Yeah.
so impressive.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I think I remember uh it was a hash to the sideline, right? The right hash to the
Yes,
sideline.
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah,
Where
I
you
remember
threw it,
that. But it was
only the receiver could catch it. So either he was
yeah.
catching it or the ball was going out of bounds.
Hmm. Yes. I clearly remember that play. That was my junior year. And what the play call was a fourth down. And what he called was like an out in a corner, and I think something across the face. But when I saw the defense, that corner was not respecting the out. He was like, "There's no way he's throwing an out all the way to the sideline." So he was inside coverage, and safety was deep. It was an
Yes.
out route, but I was like, if I can just fit it into this hole, but it has to be quick because like the out routes are quick, and I trusted my receiver. Like whatever ball is, he'll adjust. And I ripped it, and then that's what happened in that play.
Gotcha, gotcha. Then I saw you again. I'm not saying that throwing the deep ball is not impressive because clearly it is.
Mhm.
You want someone to throw. You don't want a quarterback's not going to be a quarterback if he can't throw over 50, 60 yards.
Yeah.
But when you roll out, you don't look to run. You kind of
Mhm.
when you roll out, you remind me of Aaron Rodgers. You're not trying to um, run, but you're kind of signaling to receiver to run deep. And there was a
Yeah.
specific play that I want to ask you about, where you send the one receiver deep, and then you send, but you didn't throw it to him. You kind of waved your running back deep to keep running, and you threw it to him. A tight end or running back. I don't know which player it was, and that was so impressive. Is how does that clock tick in your head where you know where to throw it and where not to throw it?
So I think for me at least, like when play breaks down and I escape the pocket, usually I don't expect the pocket because actually like one of the I guess strengths I have at being a quarterback is I love the pocket. I am
Mhm.
a pocket present
You can
quarterback.
see that clearly. You can
There's
see
not a
that.
lot of because I know a lot of quarterbacks they don't like being in the pocket, so like 2 seconds they're just out. But like the line is like designed for you to stay in the pocket, and I could take a hit. Like to be honest, like I love just throwing the ball like to wherever it is. But when rare case scenario, I have to escape the pocket. What I do is like obviously like what I do first when my mind is like, all right, I roll out to this right side. Because play's broken down. Who do I trust the most catching this ball? Like who is my like Megatron? Who is my and then
Yeah.
see what happens there. Because like at that point it's like play's broken down and stuff. But if I see that he's like triple double coveraged, I look for my next guy. Whoever's like short right next to. So I guess in that play, what I did was like I had a point of like, oh, just go, like I got you kind
Yeah,
of
yeah,
thing.
no, it
Because
was a
like
great
my
pass.
first, yeah.
'Cause I remember you're right because someone went down the stream, the middle, and you waved at him and he went to the right. But
Hmm.
because of his speed, the safety, he was double teamed. The safety went with him and he
Hmm.
left the other guy by himself, the short route,
Yeah,
and waved him down to keep going.
yeah,
So that was pretty cool. I was like, wow, bro, that was a good play. But I seen you run and you say, I'm not a running quarterback, but I saw you run. You did very well. You kind of run like, like I'm not saying clearly you're not running like Michael Vick,
yeah.
like or Jaden Daniels or
Hmm.
and I'm not saying this to disrespect you because you're not
Yeah, yeah.
sensitive to world. It's just that's not your type of play.
That's not my
However,
type.
it's not like you ran bad. You ran like Jim
Yeah.
Kelly. And
Hmm.
that's not a knock. Jim Kelly's a phenomenal quarterback. When he needed to scramble, he scrambled.
I think, I think in that case, I'm what you call sneaky athletic,
Yes,
because
definitely.
because I love the pocket so much. What coaches on defense tend to do is they love blitzing
Hmm.
because that's like because like oh like I don't think he can move out the pocket and stuff. But I think the biggest thing I did from junior to senior season, that's why I was so excited for the senior season in high school because I was like, oh, I changed so much was I worked on my speed. Like I
Okay.
worked on like because like junior season I was like a little like slow, like my footwork was slow and stuff. And I knew that was my weakness at that point. So I literally worked on like speed, footwork, trying to get as much leaner as I can to play this game. And I think from that, what happened was more confidence in running because
Hmm.
like I've always had like I guess like the shiftiness. Like I know when to like pursue the gaps or I know when to like cut
Yeah.
when a defender comes. But I was just never able to express it because like I was pretty slow and I never did it. But I think like at that senior season, like what I did was like, I can showcase now because like I got leaner, I got more like faster and stuff. So that's what happened then. So
Here's my final question of the day. I want your touchdown prediction for this season. I want you to say yours, and I'm going to give you mine for
okay.
this upcoming season. What do you got?
My final saying or
No, your
like
touchdowns. The final question of the day. How many touchdowns are you throwing this year?
touchdowns. How many if we're of course we're aiming for the championship, so that's 8 games I think, right? For the
Yes.
Continental. 8 games. I feel like throwing 2 touchdowns a game is good for me. So 16,
I have you at
16 to
22.
20, 22,
Yeah, I have you at 22.
22 touchdowns. I'm down for that too.
But listen, man, I'm gonna wrap this up. I want to thank you for your time. I had a lot of fun. You're coming back again, and we definitely got to chop it up again.
Oh,
We'll,
for
we'll
sure.
talk behind the scenes.